Alright everybody, how goes it? Hope you're well. Well, this is the TV edition of the Willow Springs Big Willow FIA Manufacturers Race from the 10th, which was yesterday. If you want to watch the live on-board footage, which contains the bit of warm-up and also the qualifying, it's the video just before this one. But yeah, this is the TV edition of just the race replay. So it was a 15-lap race. The requirements for the race was just to use medium tyres at some point during the race. And as you can see there, we qualified in 14th. So qualifying didn't go that well for us. In time practice we did do an 11.282, which would have got us on pole, because I think the pole was 11.5. But of course, in time practice there's no tyre wear. First Mazda I've seen on the grid since it came out. But yeah, this track, you don't have a good or a bad race. It's either an awesome race or a disastrous race, and that's purely down to where it is. Really, you've got tarmac and then sand on both sides of you, and there's no movement of error whatsoever. You drop a wheel, you're straight off to Narnia. So 100% concentration and 100% precision is needed throughout the whole of this race. So there we are in 14th. I think we did a 1:12.5, something like that. 1:12.5, something like that. There's quite a few Porsche in this, which I've never seen recently before. So I was hoping for a clean race and to stay out of trouble as best I could. We're starting on the medium tyre, so I thought I'd get those out of the way first and hopefully get out of sync with everybody else, which would hold us in good stead towards the end of the race. So plan was to do 2 laps on these tyres, on the mediums, and get them out of the way. Fuel wasn't an issue at all in this race. Neither were tyres really. Didn't have to do much tyre saving really, but it was more tyres than it was fuel for sure. So I could tell straight away that the Mercedes behind me there was definitely on the soft tyre. So I was probably the only one in my close proximity that was on the mediums. You see penalties already being given out there, and unfortunately for me, the BMW in front of me there, I think he got caught up in that car that ghosted out in front of him a little bit, and he braked, which meant I went into the back of him. So that gave me a 1-second penalty. So it wasn't the best of starts to the race. So I'm about to serve that penalty now. So it looks like the BMW that was just behind me there was also on mediums, but he decided just to do the 1 lap. But we're doing 2. So luckily, after serving that penalty, I only lost 1 position. So that was a bit of a bonus really. So now I just wanted to stay out of trouble still, get a clean lap in, try not to get overtaken again, and then come in and change these soft hard tyres. No, medium tyres. Get it right, Doy. Medium tyres, and put the softs on for the rest of the race. It was only ×2 tyre wear, so the softs were going to last, well, 13 laps. So I was quite surprised actually that we were on the medium tyre and all those cars in front of me were obviously on the softs, and we were able to keep up with them. So I knew I had quite good pace here. And I do like the track. So we usually do go quite well here, as long as we stay out of trouble. So here we are in for the soft tyre, no fuel needed. So we come back out in 13th there. And now it was time to get our heads down, get some good lap times in, and then hopefully the choice of strategy would move us up the field once everybody else started pitting towards the end of the race. So everybody's on 2.5 lap 1 softs now, and you can see there was 3 cars that went off to almost to Narnia there, so we moved up 3 positions straight away in the first sector. So that's always a bonus. So now all I wanted to do was pull a gap out, because my tyres were obviously 3 laps fresher than the cars behind me, so I should be able to pull out a decent gap and start gaining on 9th place. So the key to this track is consistency. Consistency and 100% focus throughout the whole of the race. There's no movement for error at all. So I was just trying my best to keep it consistent, pick my braking points, make sure I hit all the apexes that I needed to hit. And we do actually start making good progress throughout the field. And we start gaining on that Porsche that's in front of us. I love that camera view. What an awesome view that is. So I think the Porsche in front was roughly about 1.9 seconds ahead of me at this point. So I was pushing, but not enough to make me come off the track like they both did there. I think they just followed each other, to be honest. But because they did, I was now in the slipstream of the Porsche in front, which was nice. I think this was probably lap 5 or 6 or something like that. So everybody's tyres except mine were probably, well, certainly not as grippy as mine, put it that way, because mine are 2 laps fresher. But from starting in 14th and currently being in 10th, I was very happy with this first stint, that I was driving quite well. I was quite happy with the way the race was going. So I see someone else went wide there, dropped a wheel, which allowed me past. I was driving quite defensive here because that BMW managed to catch us up quite quickly, because obviously he was well in our slipstream and he was able to gain on us, but he got a little bit too close there and he had to anchor up a little bit too much, which allowed me to get away just a little bit, give me a bit of air. But I did notice that I was catching the trio in front. Mr. Worming's there in front of us in 8th place, also in the Porsche. I was catching him quite quickly, and he was going quite wide in some areas, and he was dropping the odd wheel here and there, but he was just managing to keep it on the black stuff. So as you can see, we're right up behind him now, more or less. So you see that little drop of the wheel from him there, that's the sort of things he was doing, which was slowing him down and bringing us closer together. So now I was worried about the BMW going for a dive, seeing as he managed to get up quite close to behind me. But I think it's this lap where Mr. Wormings, goes far too wide on that corner, carrying too much speed, and as he re-enters the track, he collects me, bangs right into the side of us. We were minding our own business, trundling along round the corner quite happily. But because he dropped a wheel, and as he was coming back onto the track, he went right into the side of me. So I got involved in someone else's accident when I was minding my own business, which obviously, as you saw, span me right round and lost me 5 positions. So I wasn't impressed with that at all. The race was pretty much ruined from this point on. But never say never, and my motto is to never give up, especially at this track, because you never know what's going to happen. Especially at this track, because any one of us, even the leaders that are obviously pretty darn good at this track, could easily drop a wheel. So damage limitations from here on. Just get my head down, gather my thoughts, get my rhythm back, and do the best I could do with what I had left of the race. I believe that was lap 9, so we're probably on lap 10 now. So I knew that Beetle behind me, I was going to struggle to hold him off. So with the way things were going, when he did go for the overtake, I didn't fight it, I just let him go, and I hoped that he would push me forwards, well, pull me forwards to where I needed to be to hopefully gain some more positions. Those Beetles grip so well in the corners, and he got a good exit on that corner there. So this was where I decided not to fight him into this corner and just let him go. and hope that he would pull me forwards, because I knew he still had to pit, so I knew I wasn't, in theory, losing a position. All I had to do was stay with him as best I could, and hopefully he would pull me forwards. So you can see 10th place, there's the 4 cars in front of us, 10th place, which is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the top 10. You know, we started 14th, so top 10 was the goal. And at this point I was believing it was doable. Almost looked up the inside there, the BMW, but he took the racing line, so there was no room for me to go up the inside, even though I was more or less alongside him, so I had to pull out of it a little bit. But again, I knew most of these guys still had to pit, so I didn't want to wreck my tyres too much, because I think it's only a 4-second loss in the pit lane here, so any car that's in front of you will come out of the pits more or less just behind you. So I was lucky there. I almost dropped a wheel myself from trying to avoid the cars that were on the inside of me, but I managed to hold it. So again, it was head down, try and get my rhythm back, see what we can muster up. But because that's a Porsche in front of me and he had the slipstream as well, we were doing at more or less the same speed, so I couldn't actually catch him up enough to go for a move, so I was happy just to sit behind him at the moment. So at this point, 10th place was achievable. You know, I could see 10th place only maybe 5 or 6 seconds down the road. So if I had a good couple of laps when they started to pit, there was a good chance that I could get into the top 10. Which would be damage limitations box ticked. So at this point I was just again trying to drive consistently. Luckily the Porsche in front of me there went a bit wide, so I managed to get up the inside of him. Ding dang do. So I just had to hold him off now and hopefully pull away and make some progress towards the BMW, I think it is, in front. He thought about going up the inside of me there, but the corner was mine, as he wasn't alongside me. If he had been alongside me, I wouldn't have, I'd have given him enough space. But he wasn't quite there, and he pulled out, so... Good clean driving from him though. I was impressed with his driving. You know, he was attempting to go for the moves, but in knowing when the move wasn't on, he pulled out. So it kept us both in the race. Good sportsmanship from the Porsche driver behind. So there's someone off to Narnia, which moved us up into 11th, and there goes the Porsche behind us. So I had clear air behind and in front at this point. So 10th place was, as you can see, I think it was about 4 seconds in front. So I knew at this point now that, yeah, 10th place wasn't going to be achievable. They'd just got too far ahead, just that little bit too much. Another lap maybe, or if I hadn't have been held up earlier, we possibly could have been in the battle for 10th on the last lap. A little bit wide there from me. A little bit of brown trousery time. But we do come over the line. We managed to hold it and finish the race in 11th. And that was that. So 11th place. We did lose DR, roughly 250 DR points I think we lost. We ended up with 48 points, which I think I'm on 215 now for manufacturers. So all in all, a disappointing race, but I was happy with every single lap that I drove. I thought I drove the race quite well, really, to be honest. The laps were consistent. I didn't drop a wheel and send myself to Narnia. We got sent to Narnia by Mr. Wormings, who got it wrong on the last corner, through no fault of our own. So, to be fair, it was his fault and it wasn't his fault. Yes, he was going too fast into the last corner, which meant he dropped a wheel. That was his fault. But from there on in, he was pretty much a passenger in that car. So when he did end up hitting us, it sort of wasn't his fault really. You know, the car had little... His reactions or inputs had very little impact on the way that car was going to react after it was out of control, basically. So he was a passenger, and I think it was just an unfortunate incident, really, that I happened to be just going past him as he entered the track again. So disappointed in that. I reckon if we hadn't been taken out by that incident, I think we could have easily finished 6th, maybe even in the top 5, I'm not sure. Who knows? We'll never know. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you would prefer to watch the live onboard footage of that race, it's the video just before this one. The live stream, sorry. And if you don't want to watch the practice and the qualifying and just want to watch the race, I'd click probably, I don't know, 20 minutes into the stream, and that'll probably get you more or less to the race start, if you just wanted to watch the race. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you liked what you see. I can't remember what races there are on Saturday, but if it's a track that I think I can do well at, or will just enjoy racing at, I will definitely be doing them. I'm signing off now because it's half an hour to the PlayStation 5 reveal launch, which is live on YouTube at 9 o'clock tonight. So I'm signing off tonight and I'm going to go watch that. So thanks for watching. I shall see you all in the next one. I'll be seeing you.